so we don't forget that. Okay, folks, we're recording, and we're here today to do our 25 minutes on how to use Blab. My co-host here, Lindsay, is keeping track of things, typing in, answering comments and typing in some links as we go along here. And we're going to have no Blabbus Interruptus. That means I'm not going to let you in and talk until after I'm finished. And we do this every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here in the USA. This Blab is to help people use Blab. It's 25 minutes long. It is fast-paced with a clear goal. We want to give you the confidence to use Blab. We don't answer many questions from the audience. We show you how to use Blab, and that's it, plain and simple. And the reason we don't take too many questions now is because we might just answer your question as we go along. And if we don't, at the end of the time, please ask it again, and we'll try and get you an answer. And if not, we'll try to put you in the right direction where to get that answer. We do encourage you to join the Blab when there's an open seat, and we'll do that after I'm finished with this first part. Just click the join button and I'll let you in, maybe. The Circadians. Who are we? The Circadians are a concept community. Our community isn't built around individuals. We live, work, and thrive in a guru-free zone. Everybody is equal. Everyone is important. And everyone has their own special gift. The sum of these gifts is greater than the individual. What do? We create event-driven, outcome-oriented business-building platforms, broadcast, websites, content training programs, and more. But mostly, we operate in a guru-free zone, getting stuff done. We welcome the opportunity to elaborate on that. Ask for an invitation to our community today by emailing stan@thecircadians.com. And maybe Stan or Nina can put that in there and in the comment section. Or you can follow the Circadians at socials@thecircadians.com. Rules of Blab. There really aren't any, but the Blab team kind of has some agreements they would like the community to go by. And they're very few, and mainly it's just common sense stuff. If you use common sense, you won't have a problem. Respect each other. Honor the viewer's time. Let others talk. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Well, don't be afraid, but don't be an awful person to be around. Argue the point, not the person. The host sets the rules for the party unless they conflict with these rules. Now, I want to tell you one thing before we go any farther. You're going to see a blue box over on the left side. It says Tell a Little Bird. And if you want, just click on that box. You're going to bring up a dialogue box, and you can post that tweet. And that's going to go out to your Twitter followers and let them know that you're on a Blab. And it's probably here on another page that we're going to go over that again. But the quicker you get it out there, the quicker people know where you're at. First things first, there's a lot of people that we gleaned information from, and they might not know who we are. They might not know me, but we know who they are because they've been instrumental in helping get this stuff together. And one of them is Roxanne. She's going to, I'll let her in later. She's been very helpful. Eileen Smith. She's been on Blab from the beginning. I think Roxanne's been on pretty near from the beginning also. Roy Montero, Mia Voss, Chef Dennis Litley. There's a whole host of people that you've probably seen if you've been around on Blab. Give these people some props when you see them, and let them know that you appreciate what they do. Because this really isn't, it's not hard, but they make it look super easy, and they know all this information, and just let them know you appreciate what they do. Getting started, like I mentioned, the little blue bird, click on it and post a tweet, and that goes out to your followers, and it notifies them that you're in a Blab, and it's a good way to increase the number of people following you. Giving props. Now you see those numbers there, and I'm going to go over to Lindsay. Yeah, Roxanne, thank you. She's giving props to Lindsay, and Stan's giving props to me. What you're doing by that, you just roll over the person's picture and just click. You can't do it to yourself, or I'd have probably 1,000 up there by now. I'm going to give some to Lindsay, and your picture will pop up. And that what you're doing by doing that, it's just letting the people in the blab or the host know that you appreciate what is going on, the comments, the content of the message that's going out, and that you appreciate it and you agree with it. Now, the props that you give, we're not keeping score here, and they don't accumulate. And after the blab is over, all those props, they just disappear. And when you're on again, it starts all over. Your blab profile. Your blab profile matches your Twitter profile, but it doesn't have to. You can change it to better suit the message you want to convey on blab, and that could be a good thing. Blabbers roll over each other's profile to find out about them. Sometimes the decision to follow is made on that information. Here's how you change it. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see your picture, and you just roll over your picture, and a drop-down menu is going to appear. You know what? Why don't I see my picture?
It looks like they changed the interface overnight, Ron.
Yeah, how about that? You know what, folks? See, this is why we do this. Now we're gonna have to change our. Okay, here comes Stan. I knew he couldn't stay out because this is important. You're on, buddy.
Yeah, it's just part of the updates that they did last night. They can still get to their. If they look up in the top, where in the documentation where it talks about, which we posted the link to, when you got your image up top, if you roll over that, you'll see your picture. And no, they changed it all together too. They changed that too.
Yeah.
So what you're going to have to do.
Just come back tomorrow. We figured this out.
Yeah, that's new. I do like, by the way, what we're looking at is up on the top. It says all mentions and questions. That's where you can sort out. If you click on the mentions, you'll see where somebody has mentioned you in a conversation in the comments, which makes it easier to find something. Or if somebody has a question, if there's questions, the questions only will show up over there. But I'm going to work on this for. How do you? I mean, I can see how I get to it because I click on my name in the. No, that still doesn't take me there.
I'm going to bring Roxanne. Roxanne might have an answer for us. Hold on here.
I'm going to get out and let her.
Hey,
that's where we roll.
Hey, Roxanne. Maybe
yourself.
Here.
You click on questions and it highlights the questions to the side if people ask any.
Yep, that it used to be the questions at me, and now they just have it as questions. It's a little less confusing for that.
What we're trying to find out, Roxanne, is that where we had our little image up there at the top before, we could click
look on our profile.
Oh, I was
yeah. The thing on the questions that's those three are pretty easy, but the profile is not so easy anymore because they changed this. They didn't even bring this up last night.
To click on your own?
Yeah, to get to your own profile, we know how to do it from like going back to beta, but you used to could get up on the top right-hand side was your image, and you could click on that image and there'd be a drop-down menu like in the documentation that had a link to the settings. And so that's really where you're trying to get to is the settings, and I don't see that right now.
You wanted to get to where you could change everything?
Yeah, it used to be right up. Your picture was up in the upper right, and you just
so they changed.
Clicked on your picture, the drop-down menu came down.
I understand what you say now. I just never wanted to do that.
Yeah, you can get. I do see how you can get to it, and that's to click on on mine. I would click on Stan Bush, and then that's going to bring up the dialog box that's got my stuff, and there's a link under my picture that says Stan Bush. When I click on that, that takes me over to a place that has the settings. You know, there's where that drop down menu, you can see that drop down menu then.
Okay. Well, I'm gone. I just didn't know if y'all noticed.
I'm gonna have to add this to the documentation because this changed last night. We got the 3 tabs over there. Thanks, Roxanne. We got those 3 tabs, but to clear it up, if you are in the top, if you roll over your picture in the top, and you'll see a drop down that comes up a dialog box. And in that dialog box is going to be your name and a thing that says I'm looking at Nina's. You don't have that, Lindsay?
Yeah, I do, but I don't see settings or anything like that.
Okay, you don't. You still have to click on your name. From there, click on your name. And it's going to bring up another page.
Oh, good Lord.
And when you bring up that page, your settings are still not there. Your settings are over, but the familiar box with your picture is over to the right.
Yeah.
And you click on that, and you'll see the settings is the third one down. You can start a new blab. Don't click on the profile. We know that takes you out of the blab. But there's a settings there, and you click on the settings, and those settings is where you were trying to get to, where you could change, the bio and all that stuff. But I don't see it. I don't see a way to do it from within the blab itself anymore.
Well, we'll sort that out, folks. Stay tuned. There's a change coming tomorrow. But once you're in the settings, you can change things, your email address and your bio. You'll see all that information. There's also a line that says image. You can change your image. And I like to keep my image the same across all my social media so they can see that guy that they like or they don't like. I figure 50% of the people are going to like me, and that's good. 50% won't, and that's okay. You have a choice here. But the one thing is, I'm listed as the Circadians. If you want to get in touch with me, you click on @Ron Schneeberger. Now I'm signed in as the Circadians because we do that. I'm hosting the show. In case something happens to somebody else can click in and take over the show. We don't have to cancel it. But I put my picture up there, and that way you see me, but I'm at the Circadians. And so that's why I did that. So my picture's there. I just like my picture everywhere. You can turn on your desktop and iOS settings from the notifications, I should say, from settings. So that's another thing you can do. Okay, let's move on. There's something else under your profile. It shows the number of days that you've been on Blab. If you're already hosted some Blabs, that'll show up, and they'll be viewable on your page for replay. David, let me see if I don't know who you are. I'm going to let you come in after we're done here. We don't have too much farther to go. And I'll bring you in, and maybe you can help us out, or we'll see what you have to say as we go along here. Dr. Lou Jensen, thanks for joining us. We'll get to you also. You can see a list of your followers and whom you are following on your profile page. And also you can click on them and you can see if they're following you back. It's a good way to make friends and see if you want to follow these people. How you can participate. Each blab can have up to 4 blabbers. There's 4 open seats, 3 besides the host. The host sits in the top left square, but that might not be the case. Host might be in the right, might be in the lower section, especially on a replay. When I replace these back and look at them, my picture might be down on the bottom. So don't get hung up if you're not always in the top left if you're the host. That's not the biggest deal. The biggest deal is the content that you bring to the program. The host determines how many seats will be open. They can block seats if they want to, or they can block people from getting in the seats. And they can also rotate people in and out of the seat, and that helps make the blab interesting. On the right-hand side, you're going to see the comment string. down at the bottom, you're going to see a box that says say something cool. That's where you can make a comment. Now I'm going to roll over Stan Bush here, and you see a star next to his name. If you click on that star, that means that you liked his comment, and a number 1 will appear. I just did that. Number 2, somebody else liked that also. And that's just giving props to the person in the comment stream that you like what they're commenting about, and it lets them know that you agree with that. The other thing is you're going to see a reply arrow there. A lot of times people would, down at the bottom, they want to get back to that person. They'll type the name in, and by that time, a lot of things have gone through the stream and through the comments. But if you just click on that reply arrow, it puts that person's @name in the comment box where it says say something cool, and then you can type a message and it'll go to that person. Excuse me. It's got something caught in my throat here. Hold on. Okay. Now, if you have a question, I made a little sign here. Helps me out. Makes it easier because then I don't have to type it in the box. Somebody else can. If you use a / and a Q in that comment box, a space, and then you can type your question, that will show up as a little gray box that says question, and your question is there. And what happens then is it's easier for the host or somebody on the screen to see that question, and we can get it answered for you. Also, for the host, I don't think everybody can see it, but I can see it. At the top of the comment stream, it has mentions. It's people who mentioned you, and there's also questions. So if I click on questions as the host, everybody who asked the question, that shows up in that stream, and I don't have to go through the whole stream. I can just click on questions, and all the questions come up. I go back to click all, and all the comments will come up. Okay, I covered that point. Now, I covered the star. Joining a blab is easy. Simply click on join, and in the open seat, if the host accepts you, you will join the others on the screen. What about following? While blabbing, you have the opportunity to meet and collaborate with people from all over the world. Collaborate. Folks, you're going to understand something with me. I speak English, but not very well, and sometimes I muddle over my words. So bear with me. If you know what I mean, that's great. You may want to follow some of these people to find out when they are on blabs and active within the community. There are several ways to do this within Blab. Since we are working with just the interface with Blab, there are a few ways that you get in touch with people and follow them. The people in the frames. Like Lindsay's here, if I roll over Lindsay's name, you're going to see it says Lindsay Allen, and then that underneath there is at Lindsay. That's his @name in Blab. When you click on that, if I
Okay, it looks like Ron is frozen there while he was talking about looking at the people in the frames to get the information about them. If you notice, there are icons across the top of your viewing area that have little pictures of people. So if you move your cursor over top of one of those persons, for instance, Sheila Hensley here, you can see various kinds of information about Sheila. Her bio there is very nicely done. Has her Twitter address, whether or not you are following her or she's following you, how many days she's been on Blab, how many followers she has, and how many people she's following. When you click on a username, you'll be presented with their profile. That's what I was just discussing. From this point, from what you can see there, you can decide whether or not you want to follow them. Following is not an absolute. If you click on them and you share some information with them and you find out you don't really like them, then you can unfollow them. Who is viewing the Blab session that you're on right now? You can see some of that at the top left of your screen where it says see all viewers. There are 25 people following right now, and there are 9 people who are actively following it. So if you click on the word see all viewers, it will give you information about each one of those. It will show you the profile. Actually, it'll show the profile of the people who are following you live. And that's about all there is to cover in this one. I'm not really even sure if I'm leading this place or not. I don't see anybody else. I see an open seat here. Someone would like to join right now. I'll be glad to invite you in. I don't know. So I can't invite anybody. Here's Ron back just in time. Ron, back to you.
Yeah, funny thing just happened on the way to the grocery store. I got run over by a 10-ton truck somehow or another, and I don't know what happened. But I'm back. Lucky you. You know what? I don't know what happened. I can't explain it, but
I went through the rest of the presentation there, the rest of the guide, Ron, so you can do the wrap up if you wish, or maybe our father Stan will tell us where we.
I don't know about that, but I was going to say that, you know, when Ron said he was going to that you were going to practice a little bit, that you were going to get to practice a little bit today, he didn't tell me he was going to jam you right into the mainstream. Either.
I didn't expect that either. Fortunately, I was looking at the right place in the guide.
yeah, following along. You did. I think you did good. And again, that's one of the reasons why. What I would want to do is tell everybody that's one of the reasons why we do it like we do. We have like a format that we can follow along, and that we're all a team. And if something happens, somebody else can step in and help, so that you know we get on through it. Father Stan, yeah, I heard that. It's really interesting that Father Time would call me Father Stan, but you know that's okay. I can deal with that. There was something. Roxanne said something about that she still has the image on the top right hand side. I don't, but I'm using Chrome. You don't have it? Do you guys using Chrome?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Roxanne, what browser are you using?
Uh-oh, you got that Jim Burwell look.
Nina, I did
That's not nice.
And I don't know if that's what happened, if they got in and helped me out or with clicking on something or whatever. But
she said the it.
Chrome.
I don't know what she's talking about. The left top, maybe. I don't know what she's talking about.
I don't have my image on Chrome. Maybe it depends on the version.
Okay, well, I'll leave so she can come in here, and then I'll put. Yeah, I don't have that on the left-hand side.
I don't either. It may be, I was noticing something about the size of my browser window.
Mm-hmm.
If you resize your window, things show up differently than they did yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to leave so she can come in then.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we know that we got that. That's kind of on the row of people. You have to go click on that and then go to your name, and then when you go to your name, there you can get back to that original thing. Is that what you're talking about? Where do I upload the landscape size intro image, and what size is it? He's talking about the image for when you're scheduling a Blab. I'm going to get out so he can come in.
Yeah.
Let's let David ask the questions. Okay, David, what's your question?
Yeah, I just popped it in there. So where do I, when I go to check out new shows upcoming or live, I'll see this elongated landscape image. It's not your Twitter profile.
We just had a connection problem here.
Brought in. Can you hear me?
You froze up there for a second.
Okay, Mike, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're fine now.
My question is, with an upcoming show, you see the landscape intro image. What size is that, and where do you upload that to Blab?
Well, Stan says it's the image in the settings. That's what you want to go to settings to put that image in.
Well, I did that. It says you want to change your image for Blab only. It doesn't change the Twitter. So I changed it, and what it changed was my icon, my Twitter icon, which is not what I meant to change.
Hold on here.
It changes the image here, but it doesn't change it on Twitter. It's if you go to the settings and you click on settings and go to image and then upload a file there, that's the image that's going to show up whenever you schedule a show. It does not have to match. There's somebody put the link to the document in there for him again, but if you go and read that document, that's what it's talking about is like he's actually using a common account that we have. I was fixing to log in as that account, by the way, Ron, so that I could come in and pick up where he's at as the host, and that's why we do it that way. But he can change that image from the Circadian logo to him because that's a more friendly image for people that are browsing around, right? So if you go up to what the settings, which is the way to get that, the way to get that is to go up to your name and click on or go up to the circle with your name and then click on your name. Are you doing that now?
No, I'm not. I'm on mobile.
Oh, okay. So go up to they don't have that on mobile because we were talking about that last night at the town hall. If you go up to the settings, go up to the top, click on your name when you get on, go to the settings after you get out of the Blab. Go to the settings. There's going to be a thing that says bio. That's what shows up in the drop down. There's a thing that says name. That's obviously going to be what shows up in the name, the bio. And then there's a thing that says image, and you can upload that image. And whatever image you put there is what's going to show up when you schedule your Blab. Do not change your email address, though. If you change your email address, it's like, I think the world as we know it changes. I think it's like
I don't know why anyone would do that.
Do what?
I don't know why anyone would do that. That's just crazy.
I don't either. But I heard somebody asking about that the other day. But anyway, and I still don't see Roxanne. I'm going to get out because I want Roxanne to. She keeps saying LT is left. I know the difference. Hey, thanks, David. Thanks for stopping.
Thanks, David.
It's every day at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We don't vary. This is the thing that we do, and you don't have to worry about URLs. Just go to learnblab.com, and it will bring you to the most current Blab every time. It'll bring you right here. You don't have to search for anything. Just go to learnblab.com, and it brings you right here at 10 o'clock. But I want Roxanne to tell me what, because she must be talking about my other left, because I don't see what she's talking about on my browser.
The circles, where our names are, where our pictures are at the top.
Right.
That's on the left-hand side.
So resize your browser window, Roxanne.
I've already tried that too. I've got mine. I've tried it on two different size monitors too.
You talk about it where you go up there, the person's face, and it shows up their name, their Twitter handle, the part of what they say.
Their bio, yes.
Right?
Right.
You can click on, put the cursor over your face, and then go to your name. It highlights. Click on it, and it'll take you off the screen, but you can still hear everybody talking. Yeah.
Okay, you answered my question because that's what I was talking. That's what we were talking about a while ago. Is that you actually have to leave.
Yeah.
It was up on the top right hand side. Your image, that very same image was there, and the profile thing. Now, if there's like another step in there, and we'll just have to add that into the documentation and stuff. But you had me confused because I was like, is there something on my screen that I'm not seeing? But
and then when you do that, but I'm not looking at y'all, I'm looking at my page. But now it has whatever I've recorded. Into the left-hand side is where you can edit your profile. And when you click edit, that's where you put in whatever you want to put for your profile.
This seems to be an unfortunate change. It is not user-friendly at all.
Well, another thing too, do not upgrade to the latest version of Chrome yet, unless they've got that fixed, because that was a discussion that I heard in probably 4 or 5 different ones. Now, I've upgraded and mine works, but there's a lot of people that said they did the upgrade to the latest build of Chrome, and that Blab doesn't work for them, and that Blab is aware of it, and that's exactly right. Experiencing tech difficulties, please stand by. Is there something else going on other than the other thing? I just put a link down there too. If you would, no, you cannot make a Blab private, but they did discuss that last night. That link there is where you can go and give us a review on the Blab, on what we're doing here, and tell us yes or no, or the things that you like. We appreciate doing that. That's always a good thing. They also said they were going to do screen sharing last night.
Bye, Roxanne.
Bye.
Bye. Whenever I type in the comments, I lose the steams in the center, and that's a chef for you. He's talking about steam tables and stuff like that. We're trying to do. I lose the steams in the center and only see icons.
Speak English, chef.
See, that's interesting.
I'm going to let him in, and maybe he can tell us what he's going to say here.
Yeah, what you got going on?
I'm glad you didn't say what my problem is, because that's a whole other issue.
Yeah. We don't have. This is a 25-minute Blab. We don't have that kind of
time. When I make a comment on any computer that I'm using, as soon as I get some, and it doesn't always go the first comment. Sometimes it's the second or the third. But when I type a comment in, I lose everybody's. I can't see anybody. All I can see are your icons.
I had that last night.
This has been ongoing. This has been happening. And I did tell Furcon about it, and he was going to look into it, then I never heard back. But this has been ongoing now for probably about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So a lot of times I'll take my phone and I put it down underneath here, and I just watch the pictures there. Because if I type anything in, I just lose what anybody's doing. You could be making funny faces. I wouldn't see it.
Yeah. I had that last night for just a little bit, and I refreshed, and everything came back, but it was kind of different. Blab is like when they say, it was funny because somebody said last night, "Oh, we've gone live," because the beta thing's not showing up there anymore. And he was real quick to say, "No, the beta thing's going to show back up." Because we were still in beta, because they're still having problems. It doesn't work. England Studio says it doesn't work.
My internet connection's good. Record Sage asked that. I'm getting, this is as good as I had it with Hangouts on Air. My upload is about 13, 15 megabytes a second.
I'm going to answer a question for England Studio so that he knows, because we had to go through this with the Circadian group, is that you have to log out of Twitter. You have to log out of everything in order to do that. You have to log out of Twitter, and you have to log out of Blab, and then you have to log in to change that. That's how we wound up getting it done. Yeah, it's all, I'm not going to say what it is, because there's an S word that I've been using for work for years, that it's all this all the time, and I'm not going to say it. But yeah, I
can't figure that out.
How'd I figure what out?
I can't figure out what that S word was. You
can't?
We'll save that for another time.
Yeah, we'll save that for another time. But it ends with a T.
Chef, don't leave me yet. Don't leave me yet.
Yes, that's it.
I got something to. Yesterday, Chef wanted to get in here real quick and give his support, and I said, "Well, I'll let you in, but I might not let you talk." And for folks that don't know it, we know each other, and we kid around and we joke and everything else. And after I said that, after the Blab, I thought, oh, geez, there might be people who think that I was kind of rude to Chef. Yeah. And he knew what I meant and everything else. But the people out there might not know that, this is the way we flow here and the way we are, because we're familiar with each other. And so I just want to let people know everything's good between us. We just joke around like that, and there was no harm or rudeness intended at all.
I knew exactly what you meant, and I was glad to see that you take control of your show, because a lot of times hosts let people like me come on and just ramble on and on and on.
Yeah,
we've had that problem a couple of times here, but fortunately, the people who've been in charge of the Blab have diplomatically controlled the situation. So
yeah, and most of the time it's been involving me.
Well,
I was just going to say that a lot of times it's Stan that just rambles on and changes the topic, and we got to bring him back on track.
Did he say rambles?
but he said
That's
rambles.
the thing about Ron. You can dress him up, but you can't take him nowhere.
I know it. We need to have charm school for him, I guess.
You know what? We're at the end of our time, and Nina's probably with a rope ready to choke us all.
Yes.
I did this a long time ago, and nobody paid attention.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chef. Appreciate it. We'll see you
Yeah,
later.
we appreciate it. Listen, we're going to check out England studio. The only thing I can tell you is that if Nina will let me, I'll go into a private blab with you. Or if you want to stop recording and let him come in, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But
Okay.
but
Folks,
only I'm telling you, she's
stop.
not going to let me go over 10 minutes.
I'm going to stop the recording, and we're done for today. Catch us tomorrow with some updates. I'll guarantee it. We're going to have updates.